Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa. This is my workshop. So I've got the prep, or most of the prep, done for the 69 Camaro for the USAC group build. So I've gotten some requests, lately, asking me how I do my prep for a brand new build. Okay, how I close out a previous build and how I set up for a brand new build. The most recent one that came in was from 337 Foxfire. So he wants to see that. And so, since I'm in the process of ending up the Del Rey and starting things off new for the USAC build, it's a good time to take you back into the workshop and show you some of my routine. Typically, what I do is with the instructions, I will mark the start date, okay, and anything pertinent, like this is a USAC build, okay? And when the build is all finished, what I do, where is that? Hang on, here it is. If you've watched me in the past, you know that I keep a logbook, okay? And the instructions will actually go into the logbook. So to give you an example, this is, let me see, let me find one here. Okay, well, this is the CUDA. All right, so here's all the notes from the CUDA, all right? And right in front, I keep a divider, okay? So you can separate the different builds, and here is the instructions and so forth for the CUDA. It'll go right into this folder, and as you can see, it has the start date and the completion date. Okay, so that was done last summer, actually. So this will ultimately end up in that little book, and since I am starting the Camaro, here is the start of my notes, all right? And it has pertinent information on it, start date and, what the manufacturer is and the scale and so on and so forth. I haven't done really much of anything yet except primed it. So here's my mixture for the primer, what kind of primer I used and the mixture. And what I mixed it with, I actually just used water. That's all I used. But anyway, all of this gets jotted down, and in with that little file folder, or divider rather, if I have any spoons or test cards where I've tested different colors, like this, for example, that will also go into that divider. And I think I've shown you the test cards in the past. If you have not seen that, when I'm back in the workshop, just remind me when I get back there to show you a test card, okay? So this is kind of what I do out here. The other thing I do, and I'm going to have to pause the camera and take it off of the camera mount to show you this, but one of the things I like to do is I like to sit on the computer and do a little bit of research for whatever it is I am building. Anywhere from color schemes for the exterior. If I'm going to do more than one color, then how do different colors work with one another, both for the interior and the exterior. So yeah, that's something I kind of like doing, is just sitting here and doing a little bit of research on what I'm about to start building. So I'll show you that real quick. Hang on, let me get this camera off the mount. Okay, so this is my perspective from when I'm sitting here, okay? And here is my laptop. And, we're doing a purple and blue scheme with some silver thrown into it for this 69 Camaro. And here you can see I have some Camaros on the screen. So this is what I do, okay? And again, here's my notes right here, and my instructions and so forth. And all of this will be filed away in that little notebook. So that's just my procedure. So while I'm sitting here, with all of this, let's do this. If you're a content creator and you would like to swap shop cards, there's my mailing address. Okay, and if you would like a shop card, there is my email address right there. Okay, and we'll put this back in its perch right over here. And of course, whoops, everything's falling down. Stay there. Okay, stay. And let's see, I have, oh yes, okay. Our sponsor is Gallery. And of course, as usual, if you go to their site, and I think I finally have it figured out, how to put the link for Gallery on my channel and also on my Facebook page. So it should be there if you go to descriptions, and if you click on that, and you will see all kinds of great stuff, airbrushes, equipment, and Kaleido paints. And if you put in PPMW, you see it right there in red. All right, you'll get 10% off everything, the whole deal. So good stuff. All right, so I'll tell you what, let's head back into the workshop, and let me show you what I do there. Okay, hang on. All right, so this is the build bench, and I know a lot of you have asked about the Peterbilt Wrecker. It's still sitting here. I circle back to it and I tinker with it, do a little bit here, a little bit there. I kind of have it mocked up. I think I might have shown that in the last video, and I just took some Tamiya tape just to mock it up to see how it would look. But it's coming along. It's getting there. And, of course, I showed you the weathering and so forth. I don't think I ever showed you the weathering underneath. Let me get rid of this. Hang on a second. Yeah, here's some of the weathering I did underneath. Okay. And, yeah, like I said, we're working on it, circling back to this, and I'll get this done eventually. But what I do now, here's my organizing drawers. Okay, now things like cotton swabs and so forth. When I end up a build and I'm ready to start a brand new one, I will kind of take a loose inventory, make sure that things like this are stocked up and ready to go. Okay, and making sure that everything is in its place. All right, here's my files and so forth. Okay, and you want everything to be where it belongs. Okay, these are sanding sticks, so when you're sitting and you're working, you don't want to be hunting all over the place for things. You want to make sure that things are in its proper place, so when you're sitting here working, you can just easily reach, you know exactly where it is. Okay, so that's one of the things I do, is I make sure everything is back in its proper place. Okay, and this is just some aftermarket stuff in here. All right, and that's not something that you use on a regular basis like you would use these things. Again, you just want to take a loose inventory, or at least that's what I do. Make sure that all of my materials and so forth are full and back where they belong. These in particular I really have to keep track of, because as you know, okay, the grandchildren are down here on the weekends, and I tried to get them their own markers and so forth, but they tend to want to go over and grab mine. So I find that these markers here are missing quite a lot of the time. So that's what I mean. I go over everything to make sure that once I start a brand new build, everything is in its proper place. Okay. Okay, over here at the paint bench, same thing. I want to make sure everything is stocked up and ready to go. So when I sit down and get ready to begin the build, okay, or begin painting or prepping, whatever, that everything is where it belongs. Okay, here's my sanding sponges up here, my coffee stirrers that I use for mixing paint, and I have used these in the past inside of the bed of a pickup truck. All right, and I actually showed a video where I measured and cut these coffee stirrers and I went up to the garage with the bandsaw and cut everything to its proper length, and we stained it. That was a nice video, something a little bit different. If you didn't see that video, scroll back and take a look at that. But again, just making sure that everything is all stocked up. And I'm dropping my drawer out of its place. These things are great. These are disposable brushes, okay? And this one here in the middle, can you see that? That's a pink one or purple one. Let me grab that again. That purple one, this is like a little pad. Now, these are nice because if you just have to touch up a little spot with paint, this works great. Or even, you can get into a tight spot with a little bit of glue. And I got these at Hobby Lobby. And I've got a whole bunch of them right here, okay? And if I'm running short, I have them up here on the pegboard somewhere. So if I'm running low, I'll just come on over here, all right, and I'll get what I need, okay? And if I'm running low over here, then I have to make a run to either Hobby Lobby or my local hobby store, or maybe make an order on Amazon. So it all goes hand in hand, from here to the pegboard to making a run to the store. So as I said, in this particular case, we're working on the 69 Camaro. Here's all the parts, all right? Everything has been removed from the sprue. Well, mostly. I mean, I've got things like this still sitting on the sprue, okay? But it's in its proper color compartment, okay? So, and then what I'll do is I will sand everything, and I'll make sure that my sanding sticks are all set and ready to go. Okay, I keep a little bit of water right here for my wet sanding, okay, or for decals. And I'll tell you something about this water that I did the other day, which was really stupid. If I can find, yeah, here it is, okay. Remember we went over the weathering video? Well, I mistakenly set this down. I wanted to set it aside so I knew where it was. And, I'll use these little cups or Tupperware containers to set things aside quite often, all right? Well, what I did was I put it in here, except this is filled with water, and I thought I ruined it, but actually I let this dry out for a couple of days and it works just fine. But I was a little annoyed at myself for being so careless. So anyway, yep, you all know that Papa is very capable of being a dunderhead. And while we're up here looking at the paint, I will loosely take an inventory of my paint when I finish up a build. All right. Now, in this particular case, I know what my colors are going to be. All of you voted to have the Camaro done in the purple, blue, and silver color. So these are my body colors right here. These are the rest of the colors that I will be using for this build. So I want to make sure that I have all of my colors in inventory, not only just in inventory, but that I have abundant paint, so I don't have to get, part way through, and because a bottle may have been halfway empty or 3/4 of the way empty, and then I run out in the middle of painting, I find that rather annoying. So I make sure that I check all of my colors and making sure that everything is full, or at least enough to get me through the build. All right. One of the other things that I do is when I'm all through with a build, I will take the X-Acto knives and I will change the blade. All right, so I've already changed the blade on this one. All right, that's a brand new number 11 blade. And as I have mentioned before, I got these on Amazon, and you get, what do we got here? 300 of them in here, right? They come in a wax wrapping, okay? And, obviously, without saying so, you know that you have to be very careful when you reach in and grab these. Know which is the sharp side and which side down here is the safe side to touch, all right? And then, of course, you pull one out and you can change your blade, all right? So I'll show you how I change the blade. It's pretty simple. but I know that there are some beginners out there, and maybe you've never changed a blade, so I'll quick show you how to do that, okay? Before I do, this is the old blade, all right? Remember I just said I replaced this blade already. Well, the old blade, this is 3 paper towels, all right? And what I do is I will place the old blade in there and I will wrap this up, all right? Just like this, all right? And then I will fold the edges. And I'm doing this one-handed. Excuse me, I'm bouncing this around, okay? And now that is fairly contained, all right? And insulated with a number of layers of paper towel. And I will actually wrap a rubber band around this, and it will go into the very bottom of the garbage. All right. Now I have 2 more blades to go here, so I will unwrap that. Okay. And in order for me to show you how to change the blade, I'm going to have to put this camera back on the mount, but let me just continue around here. I make sure that I have a fresh supply of mixing cups right here on the bench. I have 1,800 of these cups, okay? And if I can't remember if I've gone over this or not with you, but I'll do it again now. These cups I got on Amazon, and you can see the bottom of the cup, there's nothing there, all right? And that's important because a lot of times you get these cups, all right, and there's 3 little nubs that are right at the bottom, all right? And when you try to come in, let me set this here. When you try to come in and this thing is full of paint and you're trying to mix this and you hit those little nubs. Let me get this. All right, there you go. Now you can see. When you're trying to mix your paint and you hit those nubs, it splashes the paint all over the place. It makes a mess. So try to make sure that if you order these on Amazon or if you get them at a medical supply store, okay, they don't have the nubs, all right? And as I said, I have a box of 1,800 of these things. So I'll make sure that this is filled up and ready to go, okay? I'll make sure that the air brushes are all cleaned out. They should be cleaned out every single time, but it doesn't hurt to come back and take a look and make sure that everything is nice and clean and ready to go. If you have a compressor, well, if you have an airbrush, you've got a compressor. And here's something that a lot of people are not aware of, is this moisture trap. You see this down here? You have to occasionally push that button in. Now, the compressor is off right now, so it's not going to do anything. But you have to press that button, and what it will do is it will expel all that moisture that's in here. Because if you don't do that, the moisture starts to come through your hose, and then it gets into your airbrush, and then it spits out onto your model, all right? So that's an important thing. Make sure that on occasion you expel that excess moisture. And underneath here, okay, this is your tank, all right? If you have a tank, there's also a relief valve right on the bottom here, and you have to expel that on occasion to remove any buildup of moisture in that tank. All right. So what I have here is a moisture trap that kind of acts as a buffer. And on this airbrush right here, I actually have another moisture trap. All right. So I'm pretty well protected, but you have to nevertheless check on these things and just do your proper maintenance. This is a mess. Now, on occasion, what I will do is I will take all of this apart, all right? And let me get this out of here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Hold on. Okay. What this is are folders that I get from my office, all right? And I line the yes, I just use, see, it's just a folder, right? But I line the paint booth with these folders. The paint booth itself is made of plastic, all right? But I line the whole thing with that. Same thing on the bottom. These are all folders, all right? And I just use painter's tape to attach that whole thing. And as you can see, this filter really does need to be changed. In fact, I'll pull that right out now, all right? Okay. Okay, there we go. We got the filter out of there. Now, I don't do this at the end and start of every build. I like to try to do this once a month. In this particular instance, I think it's gone longer than a month. And I have replacement filters right down here. Okay. And let's see, can I, well, no, I'm not going to put it in there because I have to pull all this out. So anyway, when I'm all through this video, yeah, that's what I will do. I will give this spray booth a little bit of maintenance. Now, I'm going to show you something else too. Here is the dehydrator. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you may recall, maybe about 6 months ago, I did a Mustang for my friend Linda down in South Carolina. And when I did that Mustang, okay, the paint job came out beautiful. It was a red Mustang, came out beautiful. It went into the dehydrator, and when I pulled it out of the dehydrator, the paint was all pitted. Do you remember watching that video? And I could not figure out what the heck happened. It drove me nuts. It took me a while, but I did finally figure out what happened, okay? And you see this little thing on the bottom here, all right? Occasionally what you have to do is you have to take this thing out. You have to clean this, and you have to clean the bottom of the dehydrator. What happened was I had some bits of debris that had accumulated down here, and all the way in the back there, you see that fan, all right? When the dehydrator is on, it's shooting warm air or hot air, whatever the case may be, and it circulates all throughout the dehydrator, okay? And that's how it dries your parts. Well, those little tiny bits of debris down here became airborne, and they were floating around in here and landed right on the Mustang. That's what happened. So the point of this is, in mentioning about cleaning and doing maintenance on your paint booth and topping off your tools and equipment over here, it's also just as important to check and maintain your dehydrator if you're using a dehydrator, and you'll avoid the problem that I had with the Mustang. It took me a while to figure that out, but anyway, so this, while I'm doing the spray booth today, I'll probably do this as well. So it'll be a maintenance day here in the workshop, okay? One of the other things is I make sure that, these things are topped off. This is water, okay? That's all that is, okay? And this is lacquer thinner, okay? This is just a ketchup bottle, all right? And, I have other reducers here and so forth. So I want to make sure that these are all topped off, all right? Now, my thinner, okay, that I use for cleaning out the airbrush, I don't use my, and I'm dropping stuff down there, I don't use my leveling thinner. What I do is I use this. All right, hang on. This is just cheap lacquer thinner that I buy by the gallon from Ace Hardware, okay? Have a little funnel that's dedicated to this, so nothing gets cross-referenced or anything like that. Okay, and I just go over and make sure that things like this are all filled up. I just had to replace my distilled water because a grandchild who shall be left unnamed got into this and poured it all over the workshop. So that was replaced. All right. And again, I don't do this every single time out, but on occasion, I'll take inventory of my spray paints and so forth. All right. My primers are down here, and make sure that I have an abundance of primed spoons. All right. So if I'm testing colors for a brand new build, all right, I want to make sure that I can just reach in and grab a spoon that's already primed. I don't want to have to take the time to prime a spoon, let it dry in the dehydrator, then take it out and test it. I keep these things all primed and ready to go. And this is one of the things that I do in preparation for a new build, is just loosely go over this at a glance to make sure that I'm not running short. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's come back over here. I'll show you how to change the blade on these X-Acto knives. Hang on. Okay, so here's my brand new blade that I just took out of the package that I showed you a minute ago, all right? And I'm going to change out this blade on this knife, all right? So I'm going to set this down, and all I'm going to do, all right, is I'm going to unscrew the bottom here. I'm going to hold up here. All right, there you go. I'm going to hold up here, making sure I know where the sharp side of the blade is, which is on this side. All right, so I'm going to hold from back here, and I'm going to just unscrew that. Okay, and then from the side that doesn't have the blade, I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to put it right down here on that paper towel that I just showed you. Here is my brand new blade. All right. And I'm just going to insert that right inside, unscrew that a little bit more. Okay, whoops, I'm dropping it. I'm behind the camera, guys, and sometimes when you're behind the camera and reaching around and trying to look and make sure that everything is in frame, sometimes you get a little bit awkward with these things, okay? But anyway, you can see I just slid that in there. All right, and not only am I reaching around the camera, but I'm reaching around this paint that I've got on here, and I'm just going to tighten that up. All right, and there we go. All right, we've got a brand new fresh blade in there, okay? Same procedure for the surgical blade, all right? And these surgical blades actually come 100 in the box, and they come in a sterile pouch, right? And then just kind of peel this up here at the top, all right? And there is your blade, okay? And again, I'm going to make sure that I grab it back here. I don't want my fingers coming anywhere near that blade, okay? I'm going to just set that down a second and take this blade out, all right? And this blade, we're going to, hang on, guys. There we go. All right, it was kind of stuck, so I had to unstuck it. But you just undo it here, okay? Again, pay attention, all right? Don't be having a conversation or looking at the TV. Pay attention to what you're doing to make sure you don't grab the wrong end of the blade. I'm going to just extract that, put it down on that paper towel that I showed you, and pick up my brand new one. And I'm going to just slide that right in here, okay? Get that down in there, and we will tighten that up. All right. Get in there. Okay, and there we go. We're all set, and we're ready to go. Okay, so it's a relatively quick and easy thing to do to change those blades, and I do that just before I start a brand new build. All right, that's basically all I do when I'm starting a new build. You know, even things like my tape, I make sure my tape is all filled up and ready to go. All right, and yeah, this is pretty much it. There it is. Okay, and again, there's my 3 blades, and these are going to be you know, folded up, and it'll be like a little cushion, and I'll wrap that in a rubber band to make sure it doesn't come apart. And that's about it, guys. You know, simple things like making sure that I've got plenty of glue. I'll check on all of that. Basically, just take a loose inventory of everything that you need so you don't get into your build and discover, uh-oh, I don't have enough of this or that. All right, so I hope that was helpful. And as usual, if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button and give me a sub. And if you're watching on the Facebook side, jump over to YouTube and go to Papa's Model Workshop, hit the subscribe button. If you are a subscriber, I want to thank you so much for subscribing and continuing to watch the channel. And as long as I have all of you out there, I will continue to make these videos for you. And I really enjoy doing it. And I couldn't be doing all of this without all of your support. So thank you for supporting the channel. And I will see you all in the next video.